Boom, it's Counterpoint time, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor/Eminem/ oh no, someone else came into my head there. I probably shouldn't mention him live on the stream, but he was formerly a presenter on Good Morning Britain with Holly Willoughby. But yeah, well, we won't mention his name because I might get demonetized. But we are back with a brand new Counterpoint. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. Listen, we're sponsored by IPM Group UK. All your CCTV surveillance security needs, link in the description below. All Leeds United fans as well. Myself and Mr. Joe Wayman, who joins me today, are sponsored by Football Prizes. Do us both a favour, everybody. Click the link in the description below. Head on over. There's loads of tickets. The prizes are a joke. I always say this every stream, but they are a joke. Hospitality, kits, whatever. Get involved. Loads of different prizes put together by Jack and the gang there. Keep it all within the Leeds United community, everybody. Big Leeds fans. And yeah, as I said, head on over to the Patreon. We're filming a Generation Leeds after this as well, everybody. And as you know, I wanted to just mention this beforehand. I am coming to America, the US of A, on the 7th of November till the 16th. We're going Tampa 3 days and we're doing Miami for 6 days as well. We're watching the Leeds game against QPR on the 9th of November in Tampa Bay with the Tampa Bay Whites. So make sure you join if some of you are out there in the States and you fancy it. If not, no problem. But yeah, everybody, we're going to be getting into it today. What I need you to do, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts. And without any further ado, the man with the plan, it's Mr. Joe Wayman. How are we doing, Joe?
Good, mate. You must be doing well going to America, eh? What's going on there?
Just thought.
He's going to break the States.
Yeah. So I've got my hair done again, mate. Scare them all off. How are we doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Tired, but I'm always tired, mate. So yeah, I'm good. And after the week, Bristol City a week, and it was a bit meh, wasn't it? And we were all a bit like, well, I can't really speak about. Oh, it was a terrible game to watch.
Counterpoint was a struggle, wasn't it, mate?
Rough, yeah. I think every stream I did were about like between 20 and 30 minutes because there was hardly anything to talk about. But yeah, it was good to see us. I wouldn't say back to us best, but like batter a team on Saturday, and then knowing that we've got a game Wednesday, a game Saturday again, it's good, man. Happy days.
Yeah, man. Happy days indeed. Yeah, it's. I think we should start it off. Me and you have had a bit of a natter this morning about it, and I think we have to start this off with a bit of fire and fury. And believe it or not, everybody, it's not between me and Joe this time. Although apparently it's never between me and Joe, which is quite funny. The counterpoint should be renamed. But yeah, it's opposition fans, mate, and it's a certain bunch of Sheffield United fans. I know there's a section who watch my videos. There's definitely a section who watch your videos, but they've had 2 wins on the bounce, mate, 2 clean sheets, and they're back to thinking that Leeds are sort of not as good as we think they are, and Sheffield United are coming and they're hot on the tail, mate. I mean, if I was a Sheffield United fan, look, don't get me wrong, we're not miles ahead, but after that Leeds United game and after the battering that we put on them for 75, 80 minutes, I'd be staying quiet, mate. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm a bit perplexed like you, actually. I had someone message me saying, oh, it's turning into a good title race again between us. And I was like, what are you on about, mate? I says, we're going to be miles ahead of you. Then he was giving, oh, you always say this, But I mean, they were nowhere to be seen 2 weeks ago. Let me just put that out there. They were nowhere to be seen 2 weeks ago when they got absolutely humbled. Like, let's not forget, Leeds United have faced 3 shots on target in the last 4 games, and they all came in the Watford game. So, Sheffield United fans, you had no shots on target. 0. Nada.
And also, Joe, looking at those 2 games, there was a much better team out of those 2 games, wasn't there? It wasn't Sheffield United. Watford were far superior, weren't they?
Yeah. So I just think, look, and they were beat by Middlesbrough. They lost 2 on the spin. Like, what are we doing here? Come on. I just, look, I've echoed this for a while now, and I get people's nervousness, and I always say it, so maybe it's not that much of a big deal, but I just think this year we're far and away the best team in the division. We dominate most games from every statistical viewpoint you can think of. And this is against teams that are in the top half of the table. We've barely played what you would call the cabin, the fodder in this league.
Well, the Plymouths.
The Plymouths, the Swanseas. I know we played Portsmouth opening day. You can put a spin on that opening day, first game back and all that sort of jazz. But like, we haven't played a lot of the dross, what would be perceived dross. No Oxford, no, Derby County, for example, all these newly promoted sides that might be doing all right. But again, there was even a nervousness from some fans going into Plymouth going, well, it won't be easy. They came back from 3-0 down. Well, that was against Preston. We are not Preston. It's Leeds United. We're at home. I mean, Connor, I was talking about it yesterday. We have a midfield 5, 6 if you're including Crew, that includes Ampadu, Gruev, Gulavogi, Rothwell, Tanaka. That is just like, and this is where it comes back to Farker, to be honest. You cannot not win the league with that. I'm sorry, you can't. We must win the league this year. We must. I'm not asked for it. If we finish second, I won't be bothered come game 46. But if we're being realistic, with the squad that we have to win the league. We have to and must.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you're looking at it now, and I mentioned it, Joe. I don't know if you agree with this, but like with Tanaka and Rothwell in particular in the midfield, I was saying on my post-match that they've faced all different types, I feel, now of opposition. You maybe your mid to lower teams. They've faced obviously the top teams. And I don't think they get enough credit for what happened against Norwich. Obviously, Rothwell coming on, I believe it was, against Norwich when Gruev went off on the 49th minute. And we steadied it a little bit and we started getting into the game a little bit more. And I'd argue we started to sort of dominate Norwich from that point onwards, really, and do quite well aside from the last 10 minutes when they came into it. But that game's kind of overlooked because backs were against the wall. We're 1-0 down, weren't we? We obviously got the injury to one of our big players in Gruev. And since then, it's been Sunderland, it's been Sheffield United, it's been Watford. And then obviously you've had the little bit of the lower teams, your Bristol Cities, your Plymouths, etc. I can't believe what I'm seeing with them, mate. Like, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? They're a joy to watch. I'm just thoroughly enjoying watching them at the minute, and you got to bask in it, really. I think
100%. Vega, a regular viewer on all our channels, I believe, and I want to give him credit. Obviously, said like we don't have issues with the low block anymore when them two are in midfield because you've got Tanaka that moves it at pace. And he's actually getting on at his teammates now. Like, I don't know if you noticed during the game, he's going recycle and then he's going quicker, and I've seen that and I'm watching that and I'm going, yes, I love that. Whereas maybe Ampadu's more, calm down. Whereas Tanaka understands, no, we need to speed this up. I'm not saying Ampadu doesn't, but I saw that. And then Rothwell's driving into spaces. As soon as he sees a space, he drives in, it commits a defender, it opens it up for passes. So we've not actually struggled in any game really with these two. Not that we have with the other two, but we just look like we can create more chances with these two as a midfield pairing. So I do agree with you, mate. I mean, they deserve all the praise that they're getting. Like someone said, since them two have partnered, there's a shout for them both being man of the match in every game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Rothwell will get the praise he deserves from Saturday because he was subbed early. But I'm
glad you said that, Joe. I'm glad you said that. I've sort of
in the first half, he was for me phenomenal. Connor,
do you think it's because he's a lone player? I don't know. Maybe it is in Tanaka's hours and stuff, but there's still a possibility we get Rothwell. Whatever the outcome next season, because I think he's surplus the requirements there, isn't he? At Bournemouth or whatever, but. Wow, mate. I mean, I just thought like everyone was saying Tanaka. I mean, even the player of the month, mate, like everyone's saying Tanaka. And I went in and I just went, look, I'm edging Rothwell a little bit. And I think it was just because like he's just come in and maybe people just didn't expect what he's provided. And I just think if you look at all the games, your Sunderland game, your Sheffield United, your Watford, etc., he's been very good in every single one. So it's not just him, it's Tanaka as well, the balance of them both. But yeah, mate. I mean, they've just been there. Yeah, they're just levels above, in my opinion, any midfield. And it's crazy when you think of it being. I think it's disrespectful now, Joe, to call it the second rate. Yeah. I don't think it is now. I don't know what you think about it.
No, of course. And there's such a discussion to have, and you'll probably get loads of different answers off loads of different people. But that's what is that our best midfield when they all are fit? Because I even think. And of course, game state has to come into it and stuff. But Gulavogi looked gravy. Like, he looked so good, like so powerful, and he's footballing brain, just taking little touches here and there, drawing the foul, getting round the man. I was so impressed with his little cameo. And just because of the man as well, he's my new favourite player, and I've only seen him for 15 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I think, yeah, mate, that's what I'm saying. The team is a joke. It's better balanced than it was last year.
Yeah,
we're not as reliant on individuals as we were last year. We've got to win the league. And look, people might come back to me and say, "Oh, well, we didn't win the league," but I'm not asked for it. I want to just get up. I just don't want the playoffs. But really, we should be winning the league, Connor. And the fixtures have turned. We're unbeaten in 8 games. I look round the corner. Look, I was very confident about Millwall before. I'm glad I'm Statham in that pairing, to be fair. I didn't realise how well Millwall have been doing of late. I don't know if
I didn't.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't. And then I seen it yesterday. I was like, oh shit, they're unbeaten.
I think I said on my 7th. I said something like, "Oh, they've had a bit of a tricky start."
Yeah, but
I was like, "Oh no, they haven't."
Do you know what? They're actually 2 points behind West Brom, and West Brom are in 6th. And we all thought West Brom were winning. Well, I didn't, but some thought West Brom were winning the league a couple of weeks back. So Millwall are doing really good out there. So it'll be a tough place for us to go. And it's Neil Harris, and if anyone's going to shithouse us, it will be him. We know that much. History tells us that.
Yeah, he loves it. But do you know what I will say, Joe, about that is I'm not scared of going down there. And
No.
People have said to me, Connor, football's not played on paper. Well, a lot of the time it is. 95% of the time it is. The team who spends the most money, the team who's got the most lucrative team in the division. Look, you look at any relative level, you look at the top level, Man City, your Liverpool's, your Arsenal, you spend the most money. Football is played on paper a lot of the time. And I think now with Leeds, Joe, we were in the doldrums with Millwall for years, where it was, we wouldn't spend that much money, bad ownership, all that sort of stuff. Millwall would be right up for it, and it'd be. We didn't win there for years, did we? I think Ross McCormack. We won there with Ross McCormack, didn't we? 1-0, and we're backs against the walls in like 2014. It was awful, but I think overall, mate, now the quality should override any team. And I keep saying this, and I said this: the standards, Joe, the expectation has to be up here now. We should be going to Millwall, and we should not be accepting a 0-0 and saying, "Oh, it's a point on the road, mate." I'm not having that. And I think sometimes that's where maybe I'll get criticised a little bit because we can't win every game, and I understand that. But look, we're all saying 2 points per game. It needs to be 2 points per game plus for me with the standard. You've just been talking about it. That midfield, the depth we've got, even with injuries, we should be going to Millwall and we should be winning the game. That for me, 100%. We need to start this. We did it in January, mate, didn't we? Where we had this mass amount of wins. I think we've got to start doing that now. There's still maybe a bit of a conversation about it being a little bit inconsistent. I think we've had 3 draws in 5 or 3 draws in 6, and I get that's football. But with the team that we have, mate, the money that we're spending on wages and the money that we spent on this squad, Leeds United should be winning most games for me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Obviously, we don't know. Like, I'm always reticent to like, I don't want to be. If we don't win, I'm then like ready to throw the toys out of the pram, because obviously there is a situation in which Millwall get the first goal and then you shut up shop and we struggle. Like, it can happen, but it shouldn't. I agree with you. Would 4 points be a terrible return over the next 2? No, but I still think we can and should get 6, like you say. And this is what does me head in when people, have a go at me for being overconfident, or they say I'm arrogant with Leeds and I don't respect the opposition. I'm sorry, like, the team, they should be respecting us in a way. My point is, it's like Man City fans going into games going, well, I'm not sure about this. Yeah. Like, no, you shouldn't. And look, I know Man City's Man City, but we're far and away. Look, we have the most decorated manager at this level. We have the best squad at this level. We have the highest wage bill at this level. All these things point towards Leeds United being the dominant force. And rightly so, people say, well, if you were dominant, like that's what the Blade told me yesterday, if you were the best team in the league, you'd be first. Well, it don't always work like that, does it? but come game 46, then we should be there. You know, we should be there. And Michael, you could talk about saying we had all that last season too. I don't think we did, mate. I don't think we did. I think Leicester City had a very deep and good squad.
I still think they had a better squad than us.
Yeah,
Leicester squad was a joke.
I think this far and away, aren't we, mate? And with the better side.
Yeah, we are, mate, 100%, and that's what I'm saying. Now the run of fixtures is pretty healthy for us.
Yeah,
probably Millwall actually is the toughest game when you look at it. You know, after that, I think we've got a good run really up until.
I think we've got Middlesbrough in there. They worry me a little bit.
Borough, I think Borough, we've got them in. I think it's December, and they're it's not away, is it? I think it's at home again.
Okay.
They're just, I don't know, like
they're creating a whole of a lot of chances. Like
good team, mate.
They're
a good team, Borough. They're a really good team. Like I actually think when they came to Elland Road and they made the changes, we made the changes. Maybe we thought, we had an off night, and we did have an off night, of course we did. But let's be honest, mate, they could have had 6 or 7 that game, couldn't they? They were very good. So I think on their day they're a bit of a problem, but the Burnley thing that you brought up, Joe, was really interesting. Sunderland with the dropping points at the weekend, meaning Leeds just cut that short a little bit. What I'm really keen to not do, Joe, is have this yin and yang towards the end of the season. They dropped 2 points, we dropped 2 points. Like that at some point. I think we've lost one game all season. It's very, very good. In 13. But I'd like to see us you break down those 13 games, Joe, and we're second in the division. We've got 7 wins. It's those 5 draws, I think, mate, and a lot of the draws, aside from Portsmouth, I think 4 out of the 5 have come away from home. So I think we just need to iron out that and not just sort of like, I wouldn't, like you said, I think we had a bit of a discussion at the start of the season. A point away at West Brom, I can get on board with it. A point away at Sunderland, I couldn't get on board with it because of Ilan Meslier. But mate, I do think against the top sides, I can concede to a point being okay. I think against your Bristol Cities, against your Portsmouth, they just need to be ironed out a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I think the Bristol City game was not one for the ages, was it? I really didn't enjoy it. It actually put me in a bit of a shit mood, if I'm honest, because it was just meh. And I hear what you're saying. I do. Look, we just got to keep knocking out wins, and I think someone just said there, like I think Danny said a little bit further up, he doesn't think we'll go on a run till January. We're on that run now. We're unbeaten in 8. Like this is wild. Like we're unbeaten in 8 games, folks. Like not many can chat to that. I think you mentioned Sunderland as well. They're without Joe Bellingham for 3 games as well because he got sent off.
Really big.
So that's huge, and they've got to go away to Preston. We're away at Millwall. If we can pick up 3 points, like I say, if we get maximum from the next 2, there's a big possibility that will be top during the international break, and then from there it's Leeds United's to lose with the games that we've got coming up. Once we get up there, and like everyone keeps saying, the only team that will beat Leeds is Leeds. Once we hit top spot, which we very rarely did last season, did we? I don't think we were there long. Whereas this time, and I agree with you, I do not want to be fighting out for second spot with a couple of teams.
Oh, no.
I want us to be front and centre, the team, and then let them fight out for second. Let Sheffield United, Burnley, Sunderland, whoever you want, fight out for second.
Joe, that's why I think this weekend was so important. It wasn't just important Leeds winning, but it was important them drawing and getting a bit of a sucker punch when it came to Bellingham. I think that was really important because when they went to 5 points, I thought to myself, well, if that increases to 7, they've got a bit of a decent goal difference, haven't they, as well?
Yeah.
Want to be having 3 teams.
Yeah.
Especially Sheffield United. You don't want to be battling that out, really. What is there anything that you're looking at with this Leeds United side? Have you got any sort of pointers of which you think we need to improve on, or maybe do you think sorry, go on.
The second half was poor, Connor.
Was yeah.
I was bored. Yeah. I was bored. The mad thing is, I expected it though. That's the thing, and I think a lot of the fan base, and listen, I can't comment because I wasn't at the game, but the atmosphere, it sounded like a fecking morgue in the second half. I can't lie to you. And you're winning 3-0. And I think, again, a lot of that is due to the expectancy, how well we played, how easy the game was, standards. So I think I'm on board with accepting this throughout the season. I think that's what we have to accept as a fan base, that this manager is going to be a little bit more risk averse. Now, of course, this is where, and Gabe made a great point on one of my shows, bro, about the aesthetics of Piroe. So much like Farker, in a sense, when we do take our foot off the gas, aesthetically, it can be poor to watch. When we're not playing well, Piroe, aesthetically, looks really, really poor. But then when we're winning games, he's the one scoring the goals. When we're winning games and we've got a cushion, we're not too fussed about it being a little bit boring in the second half. You know why? Because we're winning, we're comfortable. They're not testing us. Off the ball, we're really good. I just thought the second half, but I expected it. So I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'd love us to just be gung-ho for 90 minutes, but what's probably the smartest thing is what we're actually doing. Conserving energy, bringing in subs, bringing in, the likes of Crew and Chambers, which I never thought I would see Chambers, if I'm honest. I don't know. I don't know why, but yeah, so there's that.
What you thoughts on Piroe then? Once again, a goal. Obviously, he's got 5 goals now.
I'm wearing my t-shirt again, bro. That's what I think.
What does it say?
Call 1-300 Joel Piroe, guaranteed goals.
I
look,
think
I was
an
annoyed
interesting
when he
one.
started.
It is an interesting one, isn't it, Joe? Because I don't really know what to say anymore. It's like, goal. I mean, me and Gabe have had this argument. It's, and Brown is what's a striker there to do? And he scored a goal, hasn't he? It was maybe a little bit better of a performance from Piroe, but we just got what we normally get from Piroe, don't we? So but he got a goal, so how can you argue with it?
This is the thing, mate. He started 5 games. He's played 12 in total, but he started 5 games. He's got 6 goal involvements. I think he got 16 in total last season. We're only 10 games in, so he's probably going to better what he did last season, if I'm honest. And look, when I saw the lineup, thought that we should have had a change. I thought Piroe had won it back off Joseph. Hadn't really done much. Now let's start Matteo again. But I was wrong to suggest that, because I thought Piroe did really well. He had some decent touches in and around the box, could have had a couple of goals, did get a goal. And you can't complain. As long as he's scoring goals, that's all that matters. But again, it comes back to what we're saying about aesthetics, because when Leeds are playing poor, or we're not quite on song, and we're playing the ball up to him, and his touch is letting him down, it's easy as a fan base to go, off, get him off, because I do it when I'm watching it. I'm like, he can't trap win, bam, 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 bam. And then, when we're winning games, you sort of forgive it. So again, I think a lot of it is just due to the actual performance overall as the team. How we're winning, we probably let things slide a little bit, but I do think that you can't argue with the numbers that he's putting up now, and we have to just I'm okay with it though, Connor. If he's scoring goals, that's the thing. I'm okay with it. He's scoring goals. I don't care.
Yeah. Probably Brendan's best game in a while as well, I thought.
Yeah, he's really good, man. I'm so happy for him, I battered him during the Premier League season. Don't get me wrong. This isn't like, and I do think, I don't see him being the number 10 in the Premier League. I don't think he's a good squad player, but yeah, I can't see him being a number 10 in the Premier League. Not a chance when you look at some of the names that are out there. Even like Morgan Gibbs-White at Forest, for example. I know they're having an amazing season, but we can go through number 10s and just Aaronson, he's just not quite there.
Could you see Piroe being the number 9 in the Prem?
Probably not either, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah.
I think we need a lot of work. I think the midfield's all right. I'd be happy with the midfield, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Centre-backs, full-backs, probably. I think wingers, probably. Yeah, I think striker and 10's probably what we need. But we probably could have done with that in this summer as well, to be fair. So
yeah.
But we need a lot of work, probably. Yeah. Extra bodies and whatnot. Forgot what Aaronson, great game. I really enjoy him. Good performance, got to be there in the right spaces. He's got numbers this season. He's actually got more than he did when he played I don't know, about 50 games under Jesse, didn't he? He beasted him, but
people comparing him to Rutter.
Yeah, that's wild, though, isn't it? I think someone said on Final Word last night that they'd seen takes saying that he's better than Rutter.
Yeah, I've seen that online now. Yeah,
surely not, man. Why do we do this? Like, why? We do it as a fan base. Like, when people were telling me that Jadon Anthony should come back because he gets the club, and I'm like, what did you see from Jadon that makes you want him back at this football club? But he gets it. I've seen people, suggest that we should sign loans on permanent. Like, I don't think we will, because just because everyone wanted Connor Roberts back. Why? Because he was bettered by Archie Gray. Like, that's the facts. I never understood it. So we do this as a fan base. If you've played for they get it, man. The Leeds, man. Get him in. But nah, not for me. Nah.
Yeah.
Rutter's streets ahead. He's killing it.
It's pretty special, wasn't it? Him and Danny Welbeck getting a little partnership as well. But yeah, mate, I think it's just interesting right now because we're in a really good spot. I wanted to get your thoughts as well on Isaac Schmidt. Obviously, very, very interesting. Obviously, not two almost golden opportunities with what's happened with Firpo and what's happened with Bogle in terms of suspension. Perfect opportunities for the new man to come in, and it probably refers a little bit back, or reverts, I should say, a little bit back to what you were saying, Joe, in terms of Farke. He definitely has his favourites, we know he does, but Farke all almost like enjoying that conservative approach as well. Now there's two questions or 2 points here as well. Number one, what are your overriding thoughts on maybe Isaac Schmidt? I mean, if he's putting Crew on and even Chambers on, I mean, we know Schmidt can play centrally as well. The game was won. Isaac Schmidt could have come on in a central role over Charlie Crew, 100%. That he didn't favour that. Obviously, Byram didn't come off the pitch, but there's that question, Joe. And also, I found it hilarious how SofaScore this week gave Sammy Byram a 7.4. Last week, they gave him an 8.4. I couldn't believe it, mate. And apparently, he was worse. I thought Byram was miles better this week.
He was better. But you were wrong last week, though, as well.
I'm not having
you were wrong. You were. He was good last week. He just wasn't Junior Firpo. But yeah, on Schmidt, clearly something's going off. Now, it could... I'm not saying that they've had a dispute. Not please, but he's either... Because what I don't understand is he played him when he first came in. He played him. He's played 10 minutes worth of football. I think he's had a couple of sub appearances, not always coming on in the fullback position. I don't even think he's come on in the fullback position yet, if you want me honest. I can't remember it. I think he's played more forward. He's coming in some mad positions in the dying embers of the games when games are won and stuff. So yeah, for him to turn to Crew and Chambers before Schmidt was a real strange one. So I hope someone in the club or on the presser asked him what's going on. Is he maybe physically he's not there? Maybe he's not doing what Farke's asking him to. Like Paper and Skin said, potentially has he pissed him off? We don't know. Like Evie says there, apparently he came on to replace Gnonto. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's come on in the fullback position yet. So yesterday, if you didn't want to change the fullbacks, he still could have brought him on because he could have brought him on for when Chambers came on. Do you see what I'm saying? Let me just say as well, because I get pissed off at this. Sean saying terrible. Why? Who? Terrible man management by based on what? Based on what? No one knows what's happened. Hear what I'm saying? I've just gave you loads of different ways. It could be physically, might not be. It could be an issue. Why does it always have to be, it's just terrible man management then by the manager? If anything, one of Daniel Farke's strongest points, and I know I'm an advocate of his, but one of his strongest points for me personally, from what I know, from what I've seen, is man management. You've just to look at Willie Gnonto to show that. So to say that it's terrible man management, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Why do you always rile me, Mr. Healy, man? I'm telling you.
Well, he's got another point, Sean. Cheers for the donation, mate. Thoughts on getting Ramsdale and Southampton go down? he is a bit of a shithouse as well. So suits the Leeds way. Yeah, it could be a bit of a yin and yang there, couldn't they? In terms of Leeds going up and maybe Southampton coming down. It's not a bad shout, but I think it'd be a lot of money. I think it'd be a lot.
Yeah,
of money.
to be honest, I always rated him, but then after he's left Arsenal and he did, I'm not too sure, you know.
Is that just his profile because he's not been spoken about and he's in a crap team?
No, I think he was not. When you actually see it, I think, look, he's better than Melier. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, 100%. He does it all the time. I can't help it, though. I can't help it.
I think Sean sits there every stream and just goes like that. And just waits.
Yeah, of course he does, man. He loves it. But yeah, fact Ramsdale. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, Byram was great, mate. Byram was great again. Could have had a couple of assists. So yeah, Pete says, really, Joe? Gnonto? He might still be here, but Farker is a long way off getting a... No, but we're not talking about what he's showing on the pitch, bro. We're on about man management.
Yeah, we need to. I think he's an interesting one to talk on, Joe. Gnonto. I get labelled a lot in this space of having my favourites and not being able to see.
Gnonto's defo one of them.
He is. Did you catch my post match though? Post match, I was and the three things I did yesterday. My first three things was need to see more from him.
Yeah, we were chatting about it as well.
At the minute, need to see more from him. I think when you look at Ramazani and what Ramazani's brought and the goals, the assists, what he's been doing.
Look what he's done to Daniel James, man. Look what Farker has done to Daniel James. This guy is just... He's a baller, man. He's a baller. And Dan James has been injured. He's already putting up more numbers than what Gnonto is and stuff, isn't he? You know?
Yeah. I think you look at Gnonto, mate, and I'm a huge fan of him. But look, I think right now we need to see more from him. I'll be honest. I've heralded him as the best player in the division. I still think he has the ceiling to be the best. People forget about his age as well. I still think he's got the ceiling to be the best player. But for me to keep calling him the best player and me to be like, back Gnonto. He's not been bad, and he's done. I think he's got sort of like 4 or 5 assists. But still, I think with Willie Gnonto, Joe, we need to be seeing. I would say 10 to 15 goals a season, maybe 8 to 10 assists, maybe 10 to 12 assists. I just think we need to be seeing multiple when it comes to goal involvement. So I think we need to be seeing Somerville numbers, you know.
Yeah, I was just going to say that to you, mate. We need to see the same output as we saw from Crescencio. That's you know, that's the scenario that we should be having, really, Connor. We need, you know, and I am seeing a more mature. I am seeing a more mature Willie Gnonto. I'm not seeing him roll around, all these sort of stuff.
Has he been targeted a bit more, Joe? Has he been targeted a bit more, do you think?
I wouldn't have thought so, mate. I don't see that.
I've not seen that either. Just read a comment on it.
I don't think so, because if we look at, say, Somerville second half of the season, that's what targeting is. He was doubled up on and basically a lot of the time nullified. So yeah, I don't.
Lost your train of thought, haven't you?
No, I was getting triggered at Mr. Michael Taylor chatting shit.
We'll do a counterpoint where we'll do like, I'll be in the corner.
I didn't want to buy,
we'll get Joe in the comments just on a big screen, and we'll
he says Joe doesn't see any negatives with Leeds. The guy's up in the clouds. That's bullshit, bro. You don't watch me. You don't watch me. You genuinely don't watch me.
Oh, God. Yeah. These are all Sean Healy's burner accounts.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate,
to go touch grass, man. Sorry.
But yeah, I think it's mate. It's interesting to see. I'm looking forward to Ramazani coming back. But the beauty of it all, Joe, is that just the depth we have, man, and what we're able to just produce efficiency wise without even some of our top. When you say like Grev, Ampadu, Ramazani, Joe, you look at the bench at the weekend. It is startling, isn't it? And that moves me on maybe a little bit swimmingly, I should say, to Manor Solomon. Okay, it feels like everybody's always asking me, Connor, talk about Manor Solomon. So I'm like,
you're on an island on your own, aren't you?
Yeah, apparently so, yeah. An island on my own with him, yeah. So go on. I don't know what people want me to say about him and talk about with him.
Did you not see an improved substitute appearance yesterday?
Yes. And I said that. I did say that. Yeah. Okay. I thought it was better. I thought it was better, definitely. Yeah. But this
was
just
right.
Yeah, I thought he was. I mean, I just it's just interesting how I just don't think he's anywhere near to starting for Leeds, and he should.
I wouldn't have said that either, by the way.
Yeah, and he should be.
Say that.
Yeah, I think he should be with what we're expecting from Solomon. I think he should be first or second name on the team sheet, and he's nowhere near it. So I guess that's what we can talk about, maybe.
Yeah, I think for me as well. Like I've noticed that when he comes on, because I was such a heavy backer of the signing, I have to check my own thinking, because I noticed during the watch along, and I thought to myself, are you doing a little bit too much here? Because every time he got on the ball, I can see myself willing him and wanting him to do well, just for my own agenda, to be able to say, I fucking told you so. Do you see what I'm saying? So I have to check my own thinking at times as well.
Definitely. That's what I did with that's what I did with Rocker.
Well, yeah.
But that's what I did with the Gnonto this week. You got to have a sit back and actually have a look at. You got to think to yourself, well, maybe it's not sort of what I'm thinking.
So I'm not like blindly, like blinkers, because I have noticed. But what I will say for him, he came on, he looked a bit shaky. Then he got to grips with it. He was fouled 3 times in as many minutes.
Yeah.
Which shows that he's doing the right things. He's not.
What's your expectation from him this season? Is our expectation from bringing him in to come on for 15, 20 minutes a game? Because he's not. I don't think he's first choice, even like winger replacement at the minute. Maybe
but that's the expectation, though, Connor.
What?
That he should get to a position. I'm not saying this will happen, people. Please listen. What I'm saying is the expectation for me as a fan of Manor Solomon is that he should be starting week in, week out on the left wing for Leeds United.
What from what you've seen, or the reputation?
No, expectation coming in.
Yeah.
Expectation coming in. So if you say, well, what do we expect from him? My expectation from Manor Solomon is that by the end of the season, he has started the majority of games. Now that might, because if we get a fully fit Solomon, I should expect that.
Yeah.
Like he should be up here. He's played Champions League. He's played Premier League for Fulham, Premier League for Spurs. He's here on loan. So that's the expectation. Now, what's the reality? Well, right now he's not getting in ahead of Ramazani when Ramazani's fit. Do I think Gnonto's been as good on the left as he is on the right? No, which is quite surprising, because a lot of people always said Gnonto's best position is on the left. Gnonto's best position is on the left, but we're not seeing that, if you want my honest opinion, Connor. I think he's looked better on the right this season. I think
Gnonto.
I don't think he's looked as great on the left, but then again, you can't usurp James. I think the 3 great games what Gnonto had before, I would argue he's had a bit of a downward trajectory, were on the right, not the left. But that's just...
I think the only thing with the one thing I would say back to that is I think when he was on the left against Bristol City, I think Leeds are just absolutely hindered. I know you thought he had a good game, but Firpo not been on that left hand side. I think Firpo offers so much. So I think that's all I would say with that Bristol City performance. Where I did think he was
I think that's fair enough, mate. He does. I thought Byron was good, but like I said, I kept saying he's not junior on that side.
No.
And he was much better on the right, because he didn't have to always cut in onto his favour's foot.
Miles better.
And that's why it's important when you have like a left-footed centre back, a right-footed centre back, etc. Yeah. It's important to have these sort of things. But yeah, look, Solomon is. I thought against Hull he played all right. I thought against Burnley he played all right, and then he gets his injury, and then I think he's probably trying a little bit too hard. I do think yesterday when he came on, he looked better than he did against Bristol City. But, he's got to get to a place where he's actually in a conversation where me and you can be sat here going, I think he should be starting the next game, Joe.
And I guess, Joe, if we've got this standard, which it feels like right now with Joseph, which I think the standard, the expectation's very, very high when he comes onto the pitch. It's like, look, if he's on for 11 to 15 minutes or whatever it is, has to be scoring, has to be doing whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think for a lone player who's on as much as he is, and the expectation is standard, that there is. People were saying he's best sign in the Championship. So
I
for
said
that,
this. I said it.
Well, I didn't hear you say that, but I know people were saying it on Twitter and all this sort of stuff.
There.
So for people to have a different standard for Joseph coming on and others, but Joseph feels like the obvious one right now to what it is with Solomon. I think that's got to be leveled out.
I said he should be the best player in the league or one of. This is what I said, bro. And I won't hide from my opinions and I'll say them. I said it. Now, is it looking like that's the case right now? No. And it is what it is. But when you talk about expectation, that's why if I expect a player should be one of the best players, then he should be ahead of Ramazani. He should be ahead of James, Gnonto playing on the right or whatever. But what I don't agree with, what I don't like is and actually I'll come back to a tweet I saw from yourself, why people want to remove Aaronson out of this side, because in your lineup for the weekend, you dropped Aaronson out, right? And I keep seeing it on my comments. I keep seeing, I want to see Solomon on the left, Gnonto in the 10 and Thingy on the right, James on the right. But it's like, well, why do we want Brendan out? Because I don't agree with that logic. If Solomon's to get in, he's got to usurp either Ramazani, Gnonto or James, not Aaronson. I think Aaronson's so key to what we do, I think, off the ball. And he's putting up numbers as well.
JC, always nice on the comments. Yeah, mate. I think interesting that we saw Aaronson on the left, didn't we, in pre-season?
Yes, we did.
And I was thinking to myself, like I said on the video, there is a conversation right now about putting Aaronson above Solomon, but I'm getting in this mode right now, Joe, I'll be honest, and I need to get out of it. I need to snap out of it. I need to get back to what I genuinely think. I keep getting cooked when it comes to Solomon. I was getting cooked when it comes to him, as in I've got an agenda, I've got a political standing when it comes to Solomon. So I'm very, very conscious, and I need to snap out of this pretty quickly, which is that is absolute bollocks, by the way. But I need to snap out of this when it comes to Solomon, because you are right. He's not good enough right now. Does Brendan Aaronson deserve to be dropped? I think Brendan's a little bit inconsistent. He's a little bit here and there. But even if you put Brendan on the left, what do you do to accommodate Manor Solomon? Because you're moving all these pieces around. The only thing I was saying was Piroe in the 10, Joseph up top, and that's just to fit Joseph in. So you've kind of got that two banks.
And we saw that for a little bit. What did you make to it?
It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't groundbreaking, was it? It wasn't. You weren't looking at it and thinking, wow, brilliant between them two. But the stats behind it are, well, apparently anyway, when they're both on together, they're both more productive. So I thought maybe you could give Brendan a rest or put Brendan on the left. But then I knew I was going to get comments. Well, what about Solomon? What about Solomon? What about Solomon? But you are right. What has he done? Because all I keep seeing is he's not fit enough. Well, Dan James was out for longer, and when he came back for that period, I thought Dan James was good. I thought he was a lot better than Manor Solomon. It's not an agenda, it's not a narrative, it's not a lead-in. I just think this guy should be doing more from what the expectation is and the standard is. But yeah, he's an interesting one, because all I was getting in the comment section below, Joe, and I know what you're going to respond here. You're probably going to say, don't overreact, don't go too far with it. People were genuinely saying, if this carries on with him, is there a conversation? And I want to open this up to the chat as well. Is there a conversation that we send him back in Jan and then get someone else in that position in Jan? And I can see you nodding no. Why not?
Well, why would you?
Well, you could, if you open that
Are you going to go, right? So you're telling me, if that's your, I'm not saying that is your stand, but if that's your viewpoint, you're going to send a player back that you've signed up for the season to then go get another player. Like, it's just who, by your own comments, isn't starting, is being used as an option off the bench. When everyone's fit, Solomon's going to be a sub for Ramazani, right? So you want to send someone back who clearly is better than this level. You might not agree, but he's clearly better than this level, who can certainly add something. Let's bear in mind, we've not seen a lot of Manor Solomon. So you want to send him back to then have to go and get another player. I think it's needless. It's like those who tell me we should bin Bamford off to bring in someone else. Those who told me before the game Saturday, bin Byram off to bring someone else in. Why? They're not starting players. What's the point? In an ideal scenario, Bamford, Byram, and Solomon, in some people's cases, do not see a lot of the pitch. So what's the point in sending them back to do what? To go bring in another person who's also going to sit on the bench? Like, you can't.
Do you think
Solomon but Connor, Solomon is not that bad. Not that bad. Bearing in mind he's already got an assist. He's not that bad that you need to send him back. Do you think he's that bad that you need to send him back?
I don't think he's that bad. I'd like it even the other day when he came on. I thought there was an improvement there, definitely. I wonder if let's say there was another injury, right? Let's say there was another injury, which on his career path at some point there will be. I wonder if that was to happen before January, if Leeds would be to maybe think. Because he wasn't brought in, Joe, to be on the bench. That's my whole point.
He wasn't. That's fair.
He was brought in to start for Leeds United. So if the expectation was that Manor Solomon came in and was supposed to be sat on the bench, then I'd say, yeah, okay. But I thought Manor Solomon was brought in to be one of the better players in this side. However,
then you're expecting Leeds United to send him back, and then bring in a player that's going to start ahead of Ramazani.
Yeah, which I don't think is going to happen. But I think that's what Ramazani's done, hasn't he? He's put himself firmly in that starting position. I think at least at the start of the season, we were saying, weren't we, that it might be Solomon, it might be Ramazani. What's going to happen? But yeah, no, it's definitely a conversation. But
I think the only reason the conversation is happening is because Spence went back to Spurs last January. But that is a totally different scenario because we know shit went on behind the scenes that the club weren't happy with. Lateness and all that sort of stuff and other things as well, right? But look at Jadon Anthony. Jadon Anthony didn't get sent back. So Solomon won't. And the only scenario in which Solomon doesn't stay Leeds to the end of the season is if he remains fit and just doesn't have any part to play whatsoever. Because he's going to say, I came to get games. This is the only reason I came and dropped down to the Championship. Let's not forget Ajax wanted him, right? We have to factor all these things in. So it's different. He's more akin to Jadon Anthony and his role last season as opposed to Spence. And I think that's the only reason people are coming to this conclusion is because Spence got sent back. But that was a totally different scenario. And I would argue, we're already seeing more out of Solomon than we saw out of Jadon Anthony. I think. And he's been injured. So if you get 20 games out of Solomon, 20 games or 20 games worth of minutes with output, then he's done his job. Is Solomon going to have a career at Leeds United after this season? I would argue no. Does he probably want one? Probably not.
I think there's two. I think it's two conversations here. I think if there's a I don't know we don't know what's in the contract, so we can't profess to know. But I think if he's not happy with his minutes, which I think's understandable, if he can stay fit, and he's still not happy with his minutes, then I think there's maybe a conversation to be had in January about him going back. I think then the next conversation is, would you be disappointed in January if he's to go back and Leeds were, because one went from Spence to Connor Roberts. It wasn't that much of a downgrade. Maybe that's a conversation to be looking at, because I don't think Manor Solomon would have come to Leeds United being the supposed star that he would have been. I don't think he'll be happy being second, third choice. So that's maybe where the avenue might be opened. But maybe from his side, Joe. Maybe from his side.
But even from his side, he needs to understand that he got injured and he's got to get back into a side that's winning games. He's got to usurp a winger that's putting up numbers in Dan James, Willie Gnonto, so he'll understand that. He's not stupid, I think, I think Manor Solomon understands what's required. I mean, I don't think he's looking at it saying, I'm going to go and play somewhere else to start. If he hadn't got injured, he'd still be starting for Leeds, by the way, I think, because he'd have got games on the spin, he'd have got match sharpness, he'd have been putting up numbers. That's what I genuinely believe. So.
Yeah, I think as Andy said here, it's all about availability and fitness for me. If he can stay fit, he'll be fine. If he can.
Yeah,
big if. Got some crazy comments coming on this one.
I've seen someone say that Anthony was good, and that's just crazy. But that same person just a moment ago said we need to get rid of Piroe because he doesn't offer anything at all. So, I mean, take that whatever way you want, Gabbagem, but you clearly ain't got a clue. So that's all I'll say.
Well, guys, we'll leave it at that anyway. And I just want to leave it there. To be fair, we've been going for about 52 minutes anyway, but we are going to be back on the debrief this evening at 6 o'clock, everybody. So we don't want to be going into too much. I'm sure Gabe and Oscar are going to come with a little bit of fire as well. But as you always know, you know what to do. Check out Joe's channel. I'm sure all of you are anyway. See lots of familiar faces. But if you don't know what this is, it's Counterpoint. Runs every week, once on Joe's, and then alternative weeks it's on mine. So make sure you check that out. Joe's channel, always, you know what it is, just Joe Football Show. Link in the description as well.
6 points from the next two, mate.
Yeah. 6 points. Yeah, mate, 100%. 100%. I'm fully expecting us to do that. And we'll be back on the debrief to get into Millwall and, Wednesday game, innit? So, guys, we'll see you there. Thanks again, Joe, and we'll see you later on, mate.
Peace.